Let's say bye to all your worries about tax planning, investment troubles, and any confusion when it comes to managing your finances and money. Here at Rocky Hill Accountants, our team has a combined 35 years of experience and will help you do it right. We're dedicated to your needs and will deliver on a result that is professional and trustworthy. Our firm is large enough to offer a full range of professional services, but small enough to give you the individual attention that you deserve. Our business portfolio includes thousands of prepared tax returns for individuals, families, partnerships, businesses, and more. The team at Rocky Hill Accountants are also thoroughly trained in tax laws and procedures. We have the ability to represent taxpayers before the IRS when they arrive at collections, audits, and appeals. This allows us to offer our accuracy and audit guarantee to tax clients. Please visit our website at rockyhillaccountants.com or give us a call at 860-257-4238 to schedule an appointment.
Clovercrest Media Group presents a CMG podcast, Keys to the City.
Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know.
Crossed up by Kobe, little floater to Shaq, and then Shaq goes like this, and the rest is history. Pay attention. Don't tell me what to do, devil woman. Speaking of those Lakers, but I hold on. But I didn't make my. I didn't make. I said Denver's gonna win.
Yeah, you did. You said that.
There's no other show like that.
Clovercrest is doing great things right now.
Streaming everywhere.
The Giants are running New York like the Times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the G-Men every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men, the Giants football podcast. I'm Big J, joined by Joe, Sean, and Zay as always. And there's some drama in Green Bay like there is every season. And we will get to that as we preview the AFC and NFC North. But we're starting things off with the AFC North here. Now, Joe, are the Steelers going to repeat, or
no? Not in third place. They're not.
I mean, they won the division. The AFC North sent 3 teams to the playoffs,
and they're the third best of those 3 teams as currently constructed then and today.
Then who do you got? Who do you got winning it next?
I'll tell you exactly what I have. I've got the Ravens at 12-5. I've got the Browns at 11-6. I've got the Steelers at 10-7, and I've got Cincinnati at 5-12. But a good 5-12. You know, where they lost some close ones that easily could have made them, you know, a near 500 team. Because I do think that Burrow's a pretty decent quarterback. And I do think that they're going to be a better team than they were last year.
The Burrow-Jamar Chase connection reunited. But, I mean, it's going to be so tough for them to get anything but fourth. Like I said, this division is really good. You can argue it was the best in football last year. Sean, who you got coming out ahead?
Yeah, I'm going to flip-flop the Ravens and the Browns. I think the Browns are going to come out on top this year. I just think that they're one of the most talented teams in the NFL, you know, throughout the whole roster. They barely have any weaknesses on their roster. So I could see them going 12-5, and then I'd probably put the Ravens at 11-6. I think the Steelers will be a little bit worse record-wise. I think that this might be the first year that they have a losing record under Mike Tomlin, which is it's a great accomplishment. You know, for how long he's been there, they've never had a losing season. They're one of the most consistent teams in the NFL year in and year out. But I just think that Ben Roethlisberger is, you know, over the hill. I don't think that he has it anymore. Their O-line lost a lot in the offseason, and even though they got Najee Harris, I just don't think they're going to be able to protect the old man back there, and I think that Najee Harris is going to have a tough time with running lanes and stuff like that. And they lost some key players on defense. They lost Bud Dupree, and they will get Devin Bush back. And they lost also their top 2 cornerbacks. So I think it's going to be a rough year for them. I think that they'll still be, around average in the NFL. I'd probably go 8-9 or 9-8. And then with the Bengals, I think they'll go 6-11. I think they'll improve a lot this year. Like you said, Jace, Jamar Chase coming in is going to be huge for their offense. Him, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins is probably one of the more underrated receiving corps in the league. I think that their offense is going to have a lot of success, especially with Joe Mixon healthy coming back out of the backfield. And I think their defense isn't that great, but I think they're similar to the Cowboys where they're going to win a lot of their games, scoring 30, 35 points and giving up 31 on the other end. I think their defense will struggle, but I think it's going to be a good step in the right direction for them this year, as long as Joe Burrow comes back fully healthy. So I think, I'd go Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, even though I'm a little bit worried about the Browns because, the last time they were hyped up this big, 2 years ago when they got Odell, they had a pretty clumsy season. And last year, their expectations weren't as high because I think people figured they'd be the same old Browns. But this year, the expectations are high again. But I just think they have too much talent to mess it up. So I see them at the top of the AFC North.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have Odell most of last season. With that injury, him back, with Jarvis Landry, the duo again, Austin Hooper. I really like what the Browns have with their run game. But Zay, like I mentioned earlier, this division sent 3 teams to the playoffs last year. Are they sending 3 again this upcoming season, or is someone going to get kicked out, or is it just going to be 1?
They're definitely not sending 3. I think you saved me for last because you want to hear the outrageousness. But I kind of agree a little with Joe, and I kind of agree a little with Sean here in this sense.
All right.
This is going to get. I believe that the Ravens will finish first in the division. I believe that they have the better quarterback between the Ravens and the Browns, who I believe are the 2 front runners in that division. I trust Lamar Jackson way more than I trust Baker Mayfield. And for me, I think the Browns have a lot of question marks on this defense. Obviously, you bring in Clowney, who we know is a guy who plays half the time. He's not there in big games. And then you boasted your secondary. So it's going to take a while to see how that secondary actually meshes together in the first couple of games. So I'm not ready to just jump on that bandwagon right away. As far as the Steelers, I don't think Ben has anything left. I think he showed us last year after that streak that they had that's really all he had. And it's been downhill really for the Steelers since. So I think it's really over for that. I don't believe in the offensive line. I think the offensive line is getting older. I'm not really happy with that receiving core. Juju Smith-Schuster is doing more dancing than he's doing catching these days. So that team has been looking disastrous. And I think the Bengals actually did a pretty good job drafting Penei Sewell. You go out there, you get Jamar Chase, you boosted the offensive line, and Burrow looked really good in the beginning of the year. So I think the Bengals may actually finish 3rd in this division while the Steelers actually finish dead last. I think they still have a good defense, the Steelers. I don't think that'll be enough for them to actually finish or make any type of noise in that division other than last place. So for me, I have the Steelers finishing last with the Bengals finishing above them. Numbers-wise, you could throw them anyway. I really don't care for the numbers. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, that take isn't as crazy as the Jets one, so I'll let it fly. I could actually see that one happening.
Thanks, Sean.
I could see that happening as well. The thing is the Steelers defense is so good. TJ Watt was the best defensive player last year. I don't see them. I think that will still keep them in games and keep them as that 3rd level. Remember, Joe Burrow missed a lot of last season, so I don't know. He's still trying to get into the flow of things. So who knows what if he maybe comes back a little different. An ACL injury is rough. So, I mean, he's got Jamar Chase there.
Hold on.
Time
out. You sat here last week and told me you had confidence in Saquon Barkley coming back, who's coming off the same injury, who plays a position where he gets the ball more and he has to do more with that leg, as opposed to Joe Burrow. You're more worried. You contradict yourself sometimes. I don't think you. You're
worried. Have you guys met?
Joe Burrow had Saquon Barkley. That was second week. It's almost a year now. Joe Burrow that was halfway through the season. He's young, he's still trying to learn the NFL game, and taking those games off is rough.
A position we've seen players play with that position. They've played with that injury. They've played through it. I think Carson Wentz. I think he played a down on it. I think there was another quarterback we had a couple years ago who actually played on a torn ACL.
Phillip Rivers, I think, did.
It was Phillip Rivers, right? Yeah, with the brace on. So I would be less worried about Burrow than I would be Barkley, who's going to get the ball 20,
Is
30
Burrow a freak athlete? No, Saquon Barkley is. But that's neither here or there. The point I'm getting to is Joe Burrow was great for that half of the season, but I don't know if that's going to be the same Joe Burrow we're seeing. They didn't upgrade the offensive line, which I think they needed to. Jamar Chase is great, and they got some solid receivers, but they need to protect him, or I don't want to see him get injured again. I want to see Joe Burrow have success, and that defense is not helping them. Like, did they play great occasionally? Von Bell has glimpses, but no one's really elite on that defense. And the Steelers defense, I just love. And Big Ben, while he is old, he can still manage a game and make sure that the defense can win them games. So that's why I'm putting them ahead of the.
Did you see Big Ben at the end of last year? He was throwing like 10 to 15-yard passes.
Yeah, but now he's going to have an actual running game with Najee Harris.
Lance, he's going to.
Okay. He's going to have an actual running game with Najee Harris, and the defense is going to win them games. I'm not
the offense with a bad offensive line, a rookie running back, and a quarterback who throws quick slants. You take that. I'll take the Bengals all day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. The defense is gonna keep him in more games. That's what I'm saying.
Defense,
with the Steelers.
Defense can't score they're not going to score everything for you. They're not going to score every down. You got to score eventually. The object of the game is to outscore the other team. It's not to have the better defense. It's to outscore the other team. That's how you win the game eventually. You have to score. And if the Steelers cannot score, I don't care how good their defense is, they won't beat teams. It's simple as that.
Yeah, and the O-line is definitely a problem because the Steelers went from having one of the best O-lines just a couple years ago to probably one of the worst in the NFL. I mean, they released David DeCastro. They don't bring back Alejandro Villanueva. Pouncey retired. So I just think that they have a lot of youth on that O-line, and I agree with Zay. I think it's going to be a tough transition, especially for an aging quarterback who needs good protection back there, who's not really mobile, can't move around. And for a rookie running back, even though I think Najee Harris will adapt and I think he'll have a great NFL career. I think it might be a little bit rough with no running lanes in that first year. So I think that is a huge factor, even though I do think that the Steelers defense is still pretty legit. But I just don't see them scoring a lot of points this year, or as much as they did last year, at least.
Yeah. And then for the Ravens, I got them a second just because of their offense. They did lose a lot defensively, but they still got the best corner duo, which I think will help slow things down. And I think J.K. Dobbins is going to bring to his own, and I got the Browns taking it because I think they are the most well-rounded team. Very good defensively, got that run game. I'm excited to see Odell Beckham come back because he's OBJ.
The big distraction, right? That's what they need. The big distraction back. I guarantee you, he'll cause them to lose 4 games alone. Just off his antics alone, they'll lose 4 games alone.
All they got to do is hand the ball off to Nick Chubb. And
the minute he doesn't start getting the ball, that's a win. His way, he'll start half-assing his routes like he did when he was on the Giants. I think he's going to be the issue. I think they play better without him. I think they did better last year without him than they would with him. I just think he hurts the team. I'm sorry. He might be a cancer. As bad as it is. He might be.
I don't know about that. But also, let's not forget last year, Myles Garrett was having a season before he got COVID. He was in defensive MVP talk. So, he was also a beast. I expect him to bounce back from that. And then I can't remember which one of you guys mentioned it, but Jadeveon Clowney as well. I think he will play well with Myles Garrett. So I'm excited to see. This was the best division in football last year, and I think it has still a lot of potential.
He didn't play well with Watt, and Watt's probably one of the best defensive ends in the game. Clowney to me is
Myles Garrett is probably the best defensive end in the game right now, though.
But I'm saying when he was with him, Watt was probably the most, the best defensive player in the game at the
Yeah.
time when
He
Clowney
was-
was in Tennessee. If you want to put it that way, he's probably the highest paid, and he's probably the best. If you list them, I guess he's up there the highest. But
yeah, Clowney was much better on the Texans though than he was the past couple of years with the Titans and the Seahawks. He did a lot better numbers wise when he was on the field with another good DN across.
He doesn't have that motor anymore. I'm sorry. To me, he will always be that one hit in college. That's it.
Yeah, he's definitely had a couple bad years the past 2 years, but I think things will open up for him when Myles Garrett is getting double teamed on the other side pretty much every down. I think he'll have a bounce back season.
I don't doubt his talent. I doubt his motor. I don't think he has it. I don't think he has the drive to be
That's
good.
Fair.
I don't think he wants to be good. I think he just likes to be out there a couple of plays a game and do his thing and get paid.
Just get some cardio in.
Yeah, every now and then.
I don't know about that. I think he has to play off a good defensive end like he did with J.J. Watt, and I think he will succeed with Myles Garrett. But I think that's going to wrap up the NFC North preview, and we'll get back to the AFC. Yes, you're right. We will get to the NFC and the drama that is in Green Bay. But first, let's take a quick break from Clovercrest Media.
If the Seattle management isn't giving you their time of day, what makes you think that Jerry Jones is going to listen to you?
Sometimes they're blowing teams out by 10. Come on now. When they're on, they're on.
Again, I'm going to need you to write LeBron a letter, send it to him, and say, Bron, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to hop off your bandwagon. Don't do that.
That is Stir the Pot Sports. Make sure you check that out. They should be going live right after this show. So make sure you check that out. Stir the Pot Sports. They talk a lot of great stuff there, fights, basketball. I mean, the NBA playoffs just ended, so they'll be talking about that. But now let's dive into the NFC North preview and the drama, the soap opera that is going on in Green Bay right now. Will Aaron Rodgers stay? Will he retire? Will he play next season? Will he play for the Packers next season? He turns down a contract to be the highest paid quarterback, a contract extension from Green Bay. Joe, is Aaron Rodgers going to be in a Green Bay uniform come week one?
I've been saying this forever now. Not going anywhere. They're not trading him. It's not happening. So he'll be there. They're going to go 14-3 this season, and things are going to go really great in Green Bay, and everyone's going to be happy, and we're going to laugh about this time next year.
Wow.
Could you agree? Right on, hit it right on the head, you know? What more can you say?
Well, I mean, if you're turning down a big contract offer, I don't think
he's putting on an addition.
I think everything's starting to bubble.
It's in negotiation right now, and he's winning. He's winning big time, and he's there. Look, he's bluffing, and they called his bluff. He's coming back. He's bluffing again. Turned down a contract. I mean, what's the right dollar amount? And he's like, yeah, I'll sign it. You'll see. They'll get it. I wouldn't worry about it.
That's not what it is at all. He's coming back to audition for another team next year. He'll be a free agent next year, and he can go wherever the heck he wants. And he's just putting on an audition this year to let people know, I still got it. That's all this is going to be. He's going to go out there, win a bunch of games, and hopefully he gets to the playoffs and pulls a Paul Crew. And then, because sales up, becomes a free agent and goes to another team, walks off into the sunset.
But, I mean, if you're Green Bay, you got to pull the trigger now because Aaron Rodgers' stocks are at an all-time high. He just won the MVP. Who knows? Maybe he comes out week one and pulls and messes up his ankle or his knee or something, and that's damaged goods. Get a deal done if you have your quarterback of the future in the waiting. So why not get a deal done? Get Aaron Rodgers out. That's their guy, Joe.
But listen, he's got that All-State money. He's got that Jeopardy money. Again, dude, for him, this is about the control and the power. This is about this team not doing what they did to Brett Favre. That's what this is about. If you're Aaron Rodgers, let me ask you a question. What does it do for your legacy to go play for, I don't know, the Lions? What would that? I don't understand. Where is he going? You want to go to Houston? Where does he want to go? Denver?
And his,
again, but Denver's invested so much in quarterbacks. I mean, right? Like, I'm telling you, he's going to be in Green Bay and he's going to be a Packer till the end, because not for nothing, the way Brett Favre went out flashing his dick and just in and out, retiring, playing on a whole bunch of different teams.
That's what it is.
Aaron Rodgers, does he want to emulate that? Or do you want to go out like Eli Manning, where you eventually get benched for Jordan Love? Which one of these do you want? He's writing his own story here, and he's going to make it happen however he wants. I don't think he wants to go play in Denver.
He wants to get out like Brady. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go out like Brady. He wants to switch teams, win another championship with another team, and go out that way. That's really what it is for him.
Yeah, but you only won one there, so tap the brakes. Try to win two there.
It's a stick it to you thing for him. No, but you gotta understand, it's a stick it to you thing for him. In his mind is, if you put weapons around me.
Yeah, but last year was a stick it to him, and he did what he always did. He goes to the NFC Championship and he loses.
But look what he did with. He did with one receiver basically the whole year. He did with Devontae Adams for the most part. What he's trying to say is, if you put me in a good situation for years to come, we could have won maybe 4 or 5 championships because I'm that good. So he wants to now stick it to them and go win somewhere else where they, going to set him up really nice, and he's going to win, because this is a stick it to you moment for Aaron Rodgers. That's all it is. Literally, that's all it is. This is no bigger than Bezos going to the space the other day. It was a stick it to you moment to Elon Musk and the other billionaire CEOs. That's all it is. It's a penis swinging contest back and forth, like you said. That's all this is. It's literally that's all this is.
Yeah. I agree with Zay, because, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most petty athletes, not just in the NFL, but, I mean, in all of sports. So I think he definitely wants to stick it to the Packers. I think that he's shown that he's upset with them, the coaching staff, the front office, for drafting Jordan Love last year when they should have went out and, drafted more weapons for him. And they drafted A.J. Dillon in the second round when they had Aaron Jones still. So I think that, he's fed up at this point, and I did think he was definitely going to get traded early in the offseason, but it's starting to, it's late July now. We're almost into training camp. So I think that I agree with that. I think that he'll do 1 year with the Packers, show what he's got, and then try and go to another team, because I think he does want to do what Tom Brady did, what Peyton Manning did. I think that he's fed up with the Packers. I think that, they've made the NFC Championship the past 2 years, and they can't get over the hump. So I think he wants to go to an AFC team and try and get it done there, maybe the Raiders or the Broncos. So I do agree with that. I think that he wants out of Green Bay, and he wants to try to show that he can still win a championship and hop over to the AFC and hand it to the Packers.
Not everybody can be Phillip Rivers. Not everybody can sit there and just watch his career melt away in one team and then leave the last year when he's really got nothing left. That's really what it came down to for Phillip Rivers. He should have been out of Chargers way longer than he stayed, and he got burnt. And Aaron Rodgers just doesn't want to be burnt. He wants more championships before he's all said and done. He's winning MVPs. He should have championships. It only makes sense. If you're going to be the best player in the league, you should have the best team in the league. It only makes sense.
But Tom Brady won all those Super Bowls, except for last year, without a superstar cast around him. So how do you explain that? And if Aaron Rodgers needs to go the LeBron route to go win championships, then do that.
We're not going to say like Tom Brady just had incapable teams. He's had players like Randy Moss. He's had Gronkowski for years on Patriots, who was probably the best receiving threat for years, basically. That's really what he was. You could put 4 guys on him. He's still going up there and catching the ball. That's really what it came down to. He's always had great defenses. He's always had great, running backs, whether it be committee or one guy like Corey Dillon way back in the days. It's all, he's always had pieces around him, basically. So it's not like Tom Brady was just out to dry on some teams with scraps you never heard of. He's had players, he's had big names come in and out of the franchise. He's turned players into big names. We know of Troy Brown because of him. We know of Deion Branch because of him. These players that he made good.
Edelman.
Yeah, so we're not going to just sit here and just say like
I don't think any of those guys qualifies as a superstar in any way, shape, or
Well,
form.
Also, I mean, Tom Brady also
Corey Dillon was an
had
amazing
defensive
running back for
mind
years.
of Bill Belichick. Like the Packers haven't had that like elite defense to like Clay Matthews. So like I mean they haven't had that, and I think that's the real
but they did though. But they did, and they have in the past, and he still couldn't win.
But
I know he did
Super
win.
Bowl.
He did win. He won one Super Bowl
He
with them.
won 20 years
But
ago.
now he wants
the one time he won.
The defense since that point, they haven't bettered their defense, and I think that's.
Yeah, but they've
his
had
real
better
problem.
records than they did back then. So again,
by him willing them
water.
Not because they have good
doesn't want to have to
because
throw
he's
400
willing
yards
them.
every game to win a game. I think he wants to be able to.
You just gotta will him to win one more game. Then I mean, again, you guys act like nobody else on the Packers is any good. Give me a break with that.
I mean, have you watched their game?
I have.
It looks like it's pitching catch between Aaron Rodgers and Adams.
How come no one said that about Sam Darnold? How come nobody was saying that about Daniel Jones?
Come on. It looks like pitch and catch between these two, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Don't tell me.
Devontae Adams is a superstar. Devontae Adams and I would look amazing
one guy.
together.
It's one guy. You've given him one guy in the last 10 years.
One guy who's going to be in Canton someday. So, that's the
You
guy
hope.
you're going to pair him off with.
You hope. He doesn't even have a championship.
You want him to go? Who you want him to go throw to in Denver? Tim Patrick?
Denver's got some receivers there. What are you talking about? Jerry Jeudy, they got some receivers there.
They're all right. All right.
And they got a really good defense.
Again,
still.
let me put it like this, dude.
They
Just
got-
like with the Deshaun Watson pre-massage scandal. Dude, what do you think? You think there's greener pastures in other places? You think Houston doesn't want to win with you as the quarterback? Kind of idiotic nonsense is that?
They don't trade away the best receiver in football.
It was an economic move.
An economic move.
That wasn't.
Probably could have cut
economic
Bill
move.
O'Brien had his head so far up his ass.
Anything else.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien's an idiot.
Yeah, no, these are.
And then you got
my
nothing.
best player for these three beans.
You got nothing back for him. You traded away the best receiver in football for nothing. That's literally what it came down to. It's not like you got a couple of first round picks that's going to set up the future. You got nothing.
Yeah,
they got salary relief.
Yeah, but hold on. That's the South. Let's get back to the North. Now, Joe, whether Aaron Rodgers plays or not, are the Packers going to repeat as NFC North champions?
Only if Aaron Rodgers comes back.
That's a whole, Jordan Love would never win the division.
Right. Let me put it like this.
You were just saying how they didn't have bums on the team, right?
If he could win the division, Aaron Rodgers would have been gone. This would have been a conversation.
If anybody not named Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, the Packers will finish in dead last place. Let me just throw that out there right now. Yes, they will.
Lions.
I completely agree.
I'll give you how it's going to play out. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 5,000 yards and 46 touchdowns, 14-3.
The Lions.
I got them Vikings going 11-6. I've got the Bears going a solid 9-8. And I've got the Detroit Lions improving to 4-13 this coming season. A step in the right direction with Jared Goff at the helm.
Honestly, I think Joe's got it right on the mark. I honestly couldn't see it any other way.
I don't think this is that hard. I mean, these divisions are like pretty predictable. Don't you feel like that?
No.
Pretty much the same thing year after year year.
To see something different, but anything else predictable.
I think
put my money in on that one.
The Vikings need to win the NFC North because they have everything in the right place. Like their defense isn't terrible. I mean, the addition of Dalvin Cook is nice as well from the Giants. No. Like it isn't like elite.
I think they're going to do good. Their defense isn't terrible. Well, good.
It can keep them in games, but also their offense. They got one of the best running backs in Dalvin Cook. So if they can
And yet, every idiot in our fantasy league is offering me second-round picks for Cook.
Yeah,
what is wrong with people?
He is injury prone. And then you also got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, one of the most underrated wide receiver cores. The Vikings need to win this. They paid Kirk Cousins way too much to not. Why did the Bears got into the Super Bowl? Got into the playoffs last year, and the Vikings couldn't. The Bears with Mitch Trubisky and whoever they got into a wild card, and the Vikings couldn't with who they have. That's ridiculous. The Vikings should win the NFC North, especially with what is going on in Green Bay and the whole Aaron Rodgers drama. The Vikings need to win the NFC North, and and the Bears. They got in to the wild card last year. I think Justin Fields is going to be an upgrade. The sooner they get him in to get him snaps, I think the better off they are. But I'm intrigued to see him play and if he can lead the Bears to possibly another wild card spot, especially if Aaron Rodgers says screw it and retires or whatever.
He's not gonna. Hot take. You ready? I think you're gonna enjoy this. I say this: if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, say Jordan Love ends up starting, Mitchell Trubisky will be better than I think better than everybody else who would be starting in that division. I think he's better than Jared Goff. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. I think he's better than Andy Dalton. I think what you're going to see from Andy Dalton this year and or Nick Foles before you get the field show is that it wasn't Mitchell Trubisky. He was never the problem. This wasn't Mitchell Trubisky. The Bears suck,
bro.
The Bears are a problem. David Montgomery is one of those running backs who only has good weeks against crappy teams. That's a big part of your problem. That guy disappears every time they play a good team.
They have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they couldn't do anything because Mitch Trubisky was the only one holding them back. Allen Robinson's one of the best receivers in the league, and he couldn't even get the ball because Trubisky's a bum.
Sean, did Jared Goff play in the Super Bowl?
He did.
Am I tripping? Indeed. Am I tripping? Mitchell Trubisky never played in the Super Bowl, correct?
No, but Jay Cutler did, and what does that say about Super Bowls? Rich Gannon was there.
Kirk Cousins is still better than Mitch Trubisky. As average as Kirk Cousins is, he's...
Wait. Which Super Bowl was Jay Cutler in? Which one was that one? Now I got
to hold on. First, 2000, yeah.
Wait, that was Rex Grossman.
That was Rex Grossman. That was Rex Grossman. So I want to know.
Was it Rex Grossman?
Yes, it was Rex Grossman. Yeah, it was.
Jay Cutler was
I'll never forget that. Yeah, Devin Hester took the opening kickoff to the house.
Trent Dilfer
that was Purple Rain year.
Hasselbeck won a Super Bowl. I'm just not impressed. That's Doug Williams won a Super Bowl in like the only year he ever played. Give me a break.
But calm it down. Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins are still better than Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mitch Trubisky's backing up.
I said this was a hot take.
Flaming hot take.
Maybe I'm wrong.
That's.
Is Mitch Trubisky
throw it out there and get people fired up?
Is Mitch Trubisky the 2021 Joe Mike Lennon? Is he taking over Mike Lennon's spot?
I think the Giants would be blessed to get a guy like Mitchell Trubisky on that sideline.
Oh my goodness!
You and your backup quarterbacks.
I love the backup QBs. I think Trubisky's got a long future holding clipboards.
All right.
I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Jersey. I really wouldn't. I think.
Put him on the Jets. I don't want him.
Not for nothing. Think about last year when Colt McCoy came in, and just for a minute, Jace, don't talk because you'll say the wrong thing here. You guys felt horrible about Colt McCoy starting, yes?
Obviously.
Initially, until he beat the Seahawks.
That was great. That was great, and then he didn't do anything else after that. Every game after that was horrible. And that aside, you like Colt McCoy. Really? That guy's never been good. When David Carr was Eli's backup, you remember that? I thought like Eli never gets hurt, so he's not going to play. But if he had to, like that's not embarrassing. David Carr, that'd be a decent starting quarterback. Colt McCoy, no. Mike Glennon, God forbid something happens to Daniel Jones, do you guys realize Mike Glennon would start for the Giants?
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, I agree. They're better.
Hold on. Consider the fact that Daniel Jones, guys.
That's your dream scenario, I thought.
I hope this Mike Glennon long-running joke with us, I hope everybody knows I'm joking. Everybody know that?
Are you?
That I'm not really fascinated by Mike Glennon. You guys really do know that, I hope. Anyway, Daniel Jones always misses games. So there's a pretty good chance we'll see Mike Glennon in a few starts. Wouldn't you rather that be Mitchell Trubisky? Honestly, much of a bum as he might be, dude.
No, I'd rather have Jameis Winston back there.
Dude, when you're picking from former Bears quarterbacks, regardless, it's a lose-lose situation.
I don't think Jameis Winston would last a year in New York without doing something stupid.
True. I'd rather have Teddy Bridgewater, though.
Okay. Dude, but again, that's what I'm talking about. If you told me I could have Teddy Bridgewater as my backup, I'd feel good about that. I want my backup to be a guy who started at some point and has some kind of skills. A guy who I'm like, 4 years ago. Andy Dalton seems like a good backup quarterback. Not if he has to play, because he's terrible. And he proved that last year, and he'll prove it again this year with the Bears.
I feel the same. I think Cam Newton. I think the Giants should have took a shot on Cam Newton when no one was taking a shot on him before New England. I think they should have went after him for a backup. I think he would have served as a great backup. I would have more confidence in him coming in than McCoy last year if Cam Newton had to come in and play 2 games. But it is what it is.
I'm gonna be real. I don't care who the Giants' backup is because I have full and complete faith.
But
in Danny
he's
Dimes.
missed games every year.
I know.
He's not Eli.
And I don't know if you remember, but these are generally games late in the season when it matters. I mean, that's bad. I just want a guy who, and listen, the role of a backup quarterback in a lot of these cases, and you get some of these guys. I mean, freaking Curtis Painter, for crying out loud. Was it Curtis Painter? Yeah. Dude, do you remember when that guy had to play?
Yeah, when that was the only game Eli got hurt, and it was luckily the last game of the season.
Oh, he was. I mean, dude, I can't believe that guy is allowed to call himself a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like Ryan
Nassib.
Placeholder is what they should call him, or something.
Ryan Nassib pretty bad, yeah. Pretty bad, Ryan
Geno Smith.
You listen. If you want to have somebody like Nassib on your, you got to have another guy. You have to have an old, crafty veteran who, if you need to bring him in, can throw the football and do some things for a game or two or a quarter.
Yeah,
or 3 plays.
Mike Glennon.
Well, that's why the Redskins bring up Fitzpatrick.
You believe in Mike Glennon now? Good. No, good. You're on the Glennon train. We're all there. I lulled you guys in. There you are. Now you guys are defending Mike. Now you're the Mike Glennon fan. That's hilarious.
Well, because he's a Giant.
I'm not.
I willed him to the Giants, Sean. I willed it.
You did.
I've been looking for a rookie quarterback to see maybe he can. Do we have a rookie quarterback on the roster or something? Because I don't want Mike Glennon to play. I'd rather Fitzpatrick. To me, he's the ultimate picker-upper.
No, I think Danny Dimes is going to stay healthy and we'll be all good. I have faith in Danny Dimes. Maybe it's because I was spoiled by how long and how good Eli Manning was.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Eli Manning.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I summarize this. Okay? You have faith in Daniel Jones staying healthy. Daniel Jones who never stays healthy. You have faith in Saquon Barkley being absolutely healthy after the knee injury, who's going to probably touch the ball 20, 30 times a game. Cool. But the quarterback, a Bengals quarterback, who may never even get hit on some plays, you're worried about him not coming back properly from the injury.
Yeah, you want to know why, Zay? Because I'm a Giants fan. And screw every other team besides the Giants. Let's go, baby.
That's the spirit.
So speaking of the Giants, our former quarterback, Eli Manning, is teaming up with his brother Peyton Manning to join the Monday Night Football commentary crew. So that brings up the question, who is the best former player to become a commentator? And what current player do you think can take a role in the broadcast booth in the future? Joe?
Wow.
Who is the best former player that became a commentator? I don't even think this is you have to even think about this. Dude, Tony Romo, who I hated for he's great. He really is great. I think what he does, how he breaks things down, I don't think there's a better guy in the game right now, to be honest. Which is so weird to say. The idea that I listen to Tony Romo, I'm like, dude, I really like this guy. Yeah, he's fantastic. So that's the guy. I mean, I think he's becoming like a superstar broadcaster, and I think that's deserving.
Yeah, I hate to agree with Joe, but that's who I had in mind. Obviously, I hated Tony Romo being the Cowboys quarterback. He was probably one of my least favorite players while he was in the league. But, I mean, he does a tremendous job breaking down the game. Obviously, you know, from a quarterback's perspective, he knows everything that's going on offense. He also knows the defense because he has to study them all the time. So, and for the casual fan or the non-common fan that's tuning in, you know, he really lets you know, like, what's going on. And he's great at predicting the plays. He's great at breaking down and analyzing. So he does a great job with it. And he's a little animated. He's pretty funny, which I hate to say because I hated Romo. But he is a great broadcaster. You got to tip your hat off to him. So that's the guy that I had in mind. I think that he's probably the best commentator in the game right now, honestly.
Say you're gonna
Booger McFarland. I love the Boog Machine.
No, you don't. Nobody does.
I'm absolutely
what a shame.
I'm absolutely
it's funny.
No,
I remember when he you know what? Don't pick him. He's terrible. I want to like that guy so bad. I'm like, why are people like busting on him? And the more I watch him, the more I'm like, oh God, yeah, no, he is so terrible.
He is wild, but when it comes to the nuances of the defensive and offensive line, he gives really good insight.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Anyway, back to what I was going to say.
No, that is
distracted.
Go ahead, Zay. Go ahead.
I think I believe it was Jason Whitney did one game. He actually was pretty good one game. I think he's actually going to continue to do it. I'm only saying that because he defended Eli really well on one of the plays that Odell completely quit on a pass, and he was like, "No, he was wrong," and he called it out perfectly, and he pointed out all the mistakes. And I thought, hey, he's going to be a good one. And also, the tight end from the Panthers, what was his name?
Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen, yeah. Pretty good commentator. I listened to, those guys I think in the future will be really good commentators down the line. But I guess Tony Romo, you could say, is pretty good. I wouldn't. He's all right. I mean,
it hurts.
There's not many clear commentators. It's not like there's a long line. You know, everyone hates Boomer. I can't listen. I watch the game on mute with Boomer's commentating.
Collinsworth is a former player, but he's a little corny.
I can't stand Sims.
You know, it's funny because I see Jared just put Ditka and Theismann, and it's like, well, I mean, those guys aren't necessarily even commentating.
They're not
anymore.
commentators. They just do like the halftime show. Yeah.
But
I
again,
wasn't even alive when they were commentating.
I was gonna say, right? They've been doing it for so long that you sort of just think of them more as broadcasters than you do as in the case of Ditka, former coach and former player, or in the case of Joe Theismann, former quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, and again, they're not calling games. I think that's the difference. I think we're looking more at who's calling games, not necessarily who's in studio. Because, I mean, Jesus, Fox Sunday is nothing but Hall of Famers sitting there. Like,
I mean, Troy Aikman is also really, really good.
Yeah, I love Troy. And that's funny. It's another one. I love Troy Aikman. Joe Buck's such a pain in the butt, but I like Aikman a lot.
And he does baseball too. You can't get away from him. He's the worst. Joe Buck.
Hey, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers chooses to sit out, maybe he does Jeopardy. And also, maybe they have him on for some commentary because, I mean, he has a little bit of a personality. He obviously knows the game. So I think he might be great down the line for him because, I mean, there are some great quarterbacks that go back and do it. I mean, look what's going on with Peyton Manning and Eli. But that is going to do it for John about the G-Men this week. For myself, Big Jace, Joe Aguirre, King Zay, Sean Scanlon. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you tune in next week where we'll be talking to AFC and NFC South. Continuing to preview. Football season's right around the corner. Training camps are starting up. Preseason's going to start up. And before you know it, we're back into the season. And we're back to Giants football every Sunday. I'm excited. But make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com for more about this podcast and a bunch of other podcasts. Make sure you check that out. For myself, Big Jace, Joe Aguirre, Sean Scanlon, King Zay, take care, and we will see you next time for more John About the Team.
The Giants are running New York like the times as Danny is dropping all sorts of dimes. Saquon's thighs are ruining defenses' lives and Leonard Williams making opposing QBs feel him. Receivers think it's scary to line up across James Bradbury, and the Giants have a bright future led by Coach Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Tune in to Drawing About the G-Men every Wednesday at 6, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.